Hey Rectangle Watchers, exam week is over. Did you miss me? Who the hell are you? Today's mindless glowing rectangle activities include nitrum, hyperbole and a half, and a personal favorite, fantastic contraption. You know, sometimes I'm disproportionately embarrassed by the way I act and look when I step on a faux pas landmine in public. I'm the most embarrassed and therefore prepared for occasions when somebody inquires about my fashion sense. So for most scenarios, I have an excuse ready or I can muster one up at the last minute. So let me face my own facts. For boys, it's hard to be pretty. For some strange reason, accessories can't just be used for aesthetics. It feels like most of what I think looks nice is out to wring my neck. The only shiny things that Team Testosterone gets are excused by their necessity, be it specs for sight, watches to watch, or tie clips for tight grips. I've had enough of these excuses, so I've forged some of my own for every weird accessory I wish I had the reason to wear or have been teased for using. For those of you who are on the cusp of hipsterhood yourselves, this installment will teach you the ins and outs of my terrible coping mechanism. Warning, this list may contain blatant lies. Please, do not apply any of this information to your academic pursuits. I am not accountable for the consequences. Number 1. Lensless glasses. In the Renaissance, scribes would wear spectacle frames so they would get accustomed to them before their eyes eventually deteriorated due to dust exposure. The investment was also intended to cost them less when they eventually needed real lenses. Number 2. Belts hanging from a single loop. During the dirty 30s, many men grew too thin for their original belts, and pickpockets ran amok. So to combat this, many people wore their belts loose over the pocket that they kept their prized possessions in. This made entry more difficult, and they would be alerted by theft by the jingling of their buckles. Number 3. Finn the Human Hat. I didn't really think of a historical excuse or anything like that, it's just kind of awesome. Number 4. Scarves long enough for personal mummification. The world's first meteorologists would conduct tests of natural wind currents. They would scatter themselves across the mountaintops and judge the weather based on the direction their scarves were being buffeted in. And as you might imagine, this is about as accurate as weather predictions would ever get. Number 5. The fedora. Back in the 7th century, when quills and literacy were just becoming popular, the placement of writing utensils behind the ear became commonplace. And thus, the first dweebs and rectangle watchers were born! Upon Outcast, these underdogs engineered a helm of great power. A headgear that could bear the burden of the heaviest feathers, and forge an impenetrable self-esteem more powerful than any pen or sword. Alas, the power of the fedora made them all go mad with overwhelming ego. And so, the fedora would be locked away until its tomb would be discovered in 1882. Number 6. The pocket watch. Time travel! Number 7. The steampunk goggles. Time travel! Number 8. Bandanas. The perfect place to hide your peach fuzz as it evolves from a prepubescent fuzzy caterpillar into a majestic yeti bearderfly. It's also good for a lot of highwayman-like occupation. Number 9. Temporary tattoos. They're sort of just the old-fashioned guest passes for pirate hideouts. Number 10. LED shoelaces. Made for the most fun midnight runs I've ever been on. Number 11. Guy liner. If Green Day and Tim Minchin can pull it off, why can't we? Yeah, this stuff doesn't come off. Number 12. Fingered gloves and fingerless gloves at the same time. Magicians use this as an extra hiding place for sleight-of-hand tricks. Number 13. The plaid. Making everything better since 7th century BCE. Number 14. Reflector snap bracelets. Leading physicians agree that being hit by cars in the middle of the night could be detrimental to your health. Number 15. Cover-up. Come on, I've got acne too. Number 16. Headphones without a music player. Conversation shield. Number 17. Painted nails. Duh, or in my case, just window marker pens. I go to school. A tattoo artist named Tai Shun was born with a condition that caused him not to grow fingernails on the last 3 fingers of his left hand. After a particularly creepy attempt to make a synthetic alternative for fingernails, he just decided to fill in the empty space with color. It looked nice, and soon enough the entire world was celebrating its color and fingers with lacquer as well. I want to live in a world where men and women just wear what they like. So, make it normal by doing it yourself. For me, please. I'll see you soon. Rectangle Watchers,